And ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to Warrior Diamond Weekly. I am your host, Lamar Gafford, for tonight's meeting here at Cayefuego in Pineville. Once again, as always, we start off with the show here with the two coaches as well. To my left, I have Coach Mark Rozier, the coach of the Lady Warrior softball program, and to my right, I have Coach Josh Brown of the Warrior baseball program. And first off, we'll start off with softball or review on that one. 2-1 week here for the girls this past week here. So just talk a little bit about what went on this past week with the girls.
Yeah, we had last week we had talked about going into this our district, and we our first game was with Glenmora. We came up a little bit short. I think it ended up 8-7. We had a chance. We didn't quite play well enough defensively. Offensively, it felt like we did a pretty good job, but we came up a little short. Then we were able to regroup and play really a pretty good game with Avoyelles Charter. So we got that district win, and then Friday we played St. Joe and got another win there. So we had a pretty good week. We would have liked to have got all three, of course, and but it wasn't bad. We got a little momentum here, so hopefully we can build on that.
And I know before the show we got a chance to talk about. Did you have one of the players here that just hit her first home run as well? We're going to talk a lot more about that, but talk about that, Matt. Talk about that accomplishment right there too.
Well, yeah, we were actually, it was even more than just her first home run. That was her first home run in high school. Uh, but when she hit it right behind another girl, so it was back-to-back home runs. Bella had just hit a home run, and then Haley came in, and the expression on her face, was just like all smiles and clapping and everything. I know she was very excited about that, and it was a good feeling for her, and hopefully we can continue on that. She's batting. I mean, she's been hitting really well. Just hadn't
Right.
hit a home run, but to hit a home run was probably icing on the cake there for her.
There we go. And then we'll also go on to the baseball side here. Also a 2-1 week here for the guys as well here. Just talk a couple of thrilling matchups as well too.
So we had a sweep with Charter. Those were really big wins for us. They kind
I
of
mean
had
3-1, my bad.
they kind of had our number the last few years. We so to get over that hump was a good feeling. Logan threw outstanding at home. I think he had 16 strikeouts. Kind of dominated them. I think he gave up a couple hits, but the back-to-back home runs by Tyler and Brady were huge. And then we just held on there, and like I said, our defense was good enough, and Logan was really good on the bump. And then we go on the road at Charter, and that's a tough place to play. We jump out to an early 4-1 lead, and then we made a couple errors, and you look up, it's 4-4. We get into the fifth inning, and we get two guys who hasn't been doing a whole lot at the plate lately, and they came through huge for us back to back. One with a bases loaded, base hit up the middle, and that was Pierre Lemoyne, who's been really improved this year. And then Easton Marlin came up with a 2-run single to drive in two more. And then Brady was outstanding on the mound with 11 strikeouts. He ran up to his pitch count, so we had to bring Cooper Courtwright in to close it out. He struck out the final two batters. So that was great. And then we had Southside, a 5A school. I was really proud of Jaden Hernandez. He pitched really well. And you look up, you see those 5 errors, and you're like, man, really the game should have been 0-0. When you see no unearned runs for the first 5 innings, he was outstanding. I felt like we played a little nervous. You see 50 guys walk into your dugout, and when their coach is telling you, hey, we had 35 freshmen try out, this is big school over there. So, but our kids competed. I was proud. We wound up losing that game 8-1, but I thought all our guys who pitched that night Jaden Gage and Jackson Harold pitched well for us that night. And then yesterday we had a dog fight with Grant, and the wind was blowing in like 35 miles an hour, and I think we hit probably a few home runs if that's not happening. But you look up, it's 1-1, then they take a 2-1 lead, then a 3-1 lead, and we have a big 6-run inning in the sixth to pull that victory out. And credit to the guys for the fight there.
And I think with all 4 of the games that we had this week in the baseball side here, I felt like this week we really learned how to perform under adversity. I felt like we handled that very well.
I think so too. That's what we were talking about the other night after the game. We did some things wrong, but we fought through it and found a way to win. We did that a couple times, and I keep telling them it's a sign of a good team when you can do that, and we did that. So I'm pleased with the guys. They're playing well, and just got to keep it up.
Absolutely. So we're going to go ahead, take ourselves a break here real quick. And before we get ready to get back into that as well, we're going to talk more about softball here. And we're going to mention about what happened this past week and also in the week coming up as well. And then we're also going to get a chance to talk to some of the Lady Warriors as well. This is Lamar Gafford for Warrior Diamond Weekly. We'll be right back in about 2 minutes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you back to Warrior Diamond Weekly here, and we got ourselves a crowded table right now here. Myself in the middle right now. We also talking to Coach Mark Rozier, who's right behind me, and we got a couple of his girls right around me as well. But let's talk about this past week here. Now we mentioned it a little bit here. We were in some games here. We won a couple of games against Avoyelles Charter and St. Joe's. Very close game against Glamora. But this past week, I think we continue to find our way in growing and growing and growing as far as our youth is concerned.
Yeah, I don't know if I said this before, but we made some changes in our defense, and we took Bella here to my right here out, all state catcher. She's really good back there behind the plate, but we moved her out into the middle infield and moved some people around, and it seems like to me that we're playing a lot better, have a lot more enthusiasm on the field, and of course, it helps to win a couple games with that too. But I think it's been a good change. Uh, we have Glenmore. Our game with Glenmore this past week, was an 8-7 game. We made a couple of crucial mistakes and gave them a few runs. We felt like we could have pulled that off. Definitely was in the game. And then we came back and played Charter. Charter, we had played extra innings the first time, and we were able to get on top of them pretty good and beat them 14-4. Played pretty. We hit the ball pretty well. Played good defense for the most part, and I was just checking the scores. And Charter went out and played a couple of 5A schools over the weekend and beat both of them, and I was like, wow. So I don't, it's hard to gauge where you're at, but I mean, I feel like we're playing pretty good. I think we're playing our best softball of the season right now, which is a good time to do it. Uh, we only got a couple of regular season weeks left, and then we'll see how it falls. But yeah, we got um, a lot to play for. Just right now it's a lot of pride involved. Just being able to go out and compete, have fun, and show that you can play with some better teams.
And that's the most important part here too. Obviously, we do want to continue to win. We do want to learn from winning as well too, but also we want to have fun as well while we're doing that. And I feel like the girls are, every single time I get a chance to talk to them, they're all smiles. They're all happy about trying to progress, learning from everything else like that. And like I said, this week we got ourselves a interesting slate here because we have Oak Hill at home, then we also have Monterey at home, two teams that are right above us here. But if we're going to try to see if we can try to make that playoff push there, we have to really try to get those games as well.
Yeah, on that first part you said about the girls having fun, I don't know. I was just talking to Chloe and Bella at the table over there, and I don't know if we have a player on a team that hasn't played probably 2, 3, 4 different positions as we try to figure this thing out together. And but I think we finally got it got it right. And they really haven't played but about 3 or 4 games with this setup, and so trying to build chemistry and timing and rhythm and all of that with a new lineup in just a short couple of weeks. It's but yeah, they're a lot of smiles. I told Bella just a while ago. It looks like she's having fun out there. It looks like she's finally got a big smile on her face. And like I said earlier, when Haley hit the home run, she had the biggest smile on her face as she was going around the bases. So I can see them starting to have fun, and it's contagious, and hopefully we can build off of that. As far as the teams that we're about to play, I think Oak Hill is playing really well right now. They've had a couple of big games where they've played well with Marksville and Monterey, so we got them at home. That'll be a challenge. We played them a close game first time around. It's just going to depend on which team plays the best. I think we're fairly evenly matched, and come out focused and play well, and hope we have a chance to win. And the same thing with Monterey. We have to go down to their place. Monterey's a little bit down right now, but they were riding high early. I think they had an injury to their pitcher, and their pitcher may be back, maybe not back, but they're always going to be a challenge to play Monterey at Monterey. And I know Coach will have them ready to go because we're all kind of in the same situation where we're I hate to say it, playing for our playoff life or whatever, but we are. I mean, it's coming down to who wins these last few games. It could be it could be the difference between making it and not making it.
Absolutely there. And Coach, let's get a chance to introduce the girls that are also right around me. I think you already mentioned about one of them in the name here, but let's go ahead and introduce them all kind of around me right there.
Okay, to my right here, to my right is Bella Acree. She's a senior. She's been playing with us since she was in the eighth grade. Uh, it's been our catcher since the eighth grade, and she was the one I mentioned moving her out from behind the plate to go play middle infield for us. It's been a pretty interesting transition. It was a hard call to make. I ain't gonna lie. It
Hmm.
was hard to bring her out from behind the plate because she's so good back there, but we just had to do it. Uh, to my left over here, first left is Chloe Courtwright. She's also a senior. Chloe's played third base, first base, center field, left field, right field. She's played just about everywhere that we could. Even had her practicing pitching earlier in the year, and she can talk about that a little bit later if she wants. And then to the far left over there is Haley Stokes, who is a freshman, one of our pitchers, also plays first base. Just hit her first high school home run a couple nights ago, and uh, has actually been batting in the three hole for us and doing quite well. Hadn't hit home runs, but she's been hitting a lot, getting a lot of hits, and uh, so that's who we got here for you. You can talk to them and get their take on things.
There we go. Perfect. So we're going to get a chance to talk to them after we take this break here. Thank you so much for your time, Coach. And like I said, we're going to get a chance to talk to your players in about a couple of minutes here. This is Lamar Gafford with Warrior Diamond Weekly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you back to Warrior Diamond Weekly. We're live here from Cayefuego in Pineville, Louisiana. And thanks to them for being one of our sponsors for this as well. So, first off, now we got a chance to talk to a couple of the Lady Warrior players here. And we're going to start off by asking the easiest question of them all. We're going to start off with their names. So basically, y'all can go ahead and introduce yourselves all the way around.
I'm Bella.
I'm Chloe.
I'm Haley.
All right. So first off, we'll start off with you, Bella. Here, obviously being one of the seniors on this team here. You hold up a leadership role on this squad. So first off, talk to me about trying to set up an example here for the younger players and everything.
Yeah, it's definitely an honor to be a senior and to consider myself, I guess, a leader of the team. It's definitely a hard position to kind of take over. You want to be a good example for the younger kids coming up, and you want to kind of have that loud voice. You definitely have to be loud, or sometimes they won't listen. But yeah, to be a loud person, a loud leader, definitely is beneficial to the younger kids to look up to people and to get a good example of what it's like to be a leader of a team, because we eventually won't be there. So
As Coach had mentioned too, this season has kind of been an adjustment for you too, because you've gone from being the catcher of this program to now playing shortstop, right, of this program and everything. So talk to me about the difference and also adjusting to a new role and a new position.
yeah, when he actually came up to me and told me that I was playing shortstop, it was the day of a game, and he called me and he was like, "You're moving to shortstop," and I was like, "Okay." I mean, I couldn't tell him no, because I mean, whatever it takes for the team to win is what I want to do, and I want to help our team out. And yeah, it's definitely been a big adjustment. It's a lot different than being behind the plate. Um, but I mean, between shortstop and catcher, there's a lot of things that I like about each, and there's a lot of things that I miss about catching, but also like about shortstop. So
Let's get Chloe in here as well here. And first off, you're also another one of the seniors on this program here too. So talk to me about that leadership role that you're also taking in.
It's like Bella said, it is an honor. I mean, you're the one that's showing these girls like what it is to be a leader and everything. And like you do have to have a loud voice. Like no matter where I am on the field, I try to like talk our players up, everything like that. And you just got to be like that person that they look up to, because at the end of the day, we aren't going to be here next year, and so they got to be able to know that role that they have to play next year when we're gone and everything. So
And when Coach was mentioning about all the positions that you played, basically saying you played first base, second base, it kind of reminded me of that Bugs Bunny cartoon where he was playing pitching Bugs Bunny, first base Bugs Bunny, second base Bugs Bunny. But as you mentioned before, doing everything what it takes here just to help out the team. Talk to me about being so like a utility player and also, I guess, multifaceted, basically.
being a utility player, it has its perks, because like it just means that you can be what you need for your team no matter where you are on that field. But it definitely takes some getting used to, because like having to go from right field in a game to first base all in one game is a little difficult, because you're not really used to it, or you're going from reading the ball in the outfield to reading the ball in the infield. It's just different. But I'm just happy wherever I get to play, because I just want to help the team out and help us get as far as we can.
All right. Let's pass the mic here to Haley here. And Haley, also, you're doing also a bit of both here as well, pitching and also hitting as well on the team. Let's talk about the pitching so far here, because in your last matchup here, you got a chance to have a good outing there. 3 innings, only gave up a hit there, but also got a big win there against a pretty solid St. Joe's team.
Yes, sir. It was kind of rocky at the start. I pushed through, and whenever like my defense would back me up, it definitely helped me out as a pitcher, because I can trust my defense. And I'd say like at the beginning, like before we changed up our defense, it was kind of rocky, but as we went through the season, it kind of settled down. after we had our infield move around, our outfield move around, it definitely became like easier for me as a pitcher, I'd say, and like more calming because we have our older girls in the field, and it helped a lot as a pitcher. So that's what I'd say.
And I think one of the highlights of the ball game there was when you and Bella went back to back here. Bella hit a home run, and then you followed her up with a home run. But it was also an amazing milestone for you too, because that was not only your first home run as a high school player, but first home run ever. So talk to me about that, and how did it feel when that ball left that bat there?
It felt great. I mean, I've had like a roller coaster with my hits. I hit, or sometimes I just pop up. I mean, it's like here and there. But after Bella hit, I mean, it makes everybody feel amazing. And then when I hit it, it just like I don't know. I think it just hyped everybody up, and like I don't. It was just amazing, and it felt really good.
Now, every single time here, whenever we get the players here as well, I like to ask them here what got them into softball. What does it mean to be also a Lady Warrior? And also, if they have some interesting stories or funny stories here about Coach Rozier here. So I guess the floor is yours. We'll just go ahead and just pass the bike around there.
Um, honestly, I always just grew up in a very competitive family. My dad played baseball. My stepdad played baseball growing up. I think my biggest thing that got me into wanting to play, I was practicing with my stepbrother in t-ball. He was in t-ball, and I was much younger than him. And I just wanted to play Dixie, and that's where it all started. Um, and being a lady warrior is um, it's very rewarding because we are not, as a small school, we're not just necessarily given the athleticism that a lot of 5A and 4A schools are given. So to truly like win and do good in a season is very, very rewarding because we're not just gifted that, and we have not many opportunities to be able to do that and to be able to win a state championship. And so us being able to accomplish those goals is very, very rewarding.
All right.
I got into softball because I have really just three older brothers, and I would always practice with them because they all three played baseball, and so just practicing with them when I was younger just got me into playing like ditzy ball, like Bella said, and then it just grew into more and more want and need to be in that competitive environment. And then being a lady warrior really is rewarding because just being able to show that even though we are a small school, we still have the fight in us. We still can like play these bigger schools like Grant or Tioga and still be able to compete and everything. So.
I don't. Growing up, wasn't raised with siblings or anything,
Mhm.
and I got into softball by just Dixie when I was in fourth grade, and ever since then, I just fell in love with the sport. I love the competitiveness of it, and being a lady warrior is something that I can say is like a proud moment and a proud like accomplishment that I can say that I've had in my life because I came from a big public school to a very small private school. And I'd say that coming from a big public school, a lot is handed to people. But coming to a private school, I've realized that like what everybody has, they've had to work hard for it to get to where they are. And I'd say not a lot of people can say that they really see that in people in sports aspect. So I think that I'm like really proud of that. So
All right. Well, thank y'all so much, ladies, here for that chance to get a chance to talk about everything Lady Warrior softball and everything. Best of luck to y'all for the rest of the season, and also let's continue to make that playoff push there. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and take ourselves another break here, and when we come back, we'll talk to Coach Josh Brown of the baseball program, and we're also gonna try and see if we can get a couple of his players as well. This is Warrior Diamond Weekly with Lamar Gafford here. We'll be right back in a few minutes. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you back to Warrior Diamond Weekly. I am your host, Lamar Gafford. We're live here from Cayefuego in Pineville, Louisiana. And now we're going to get a chance to talk about all things Warriors baseball here with Coach Josh Brown and some of his assistant coaches as well. You can go ahead and introduce them as well here.
Yeah, we got first base coach, Coach Ladner. He also works with the outfielders as well as the corner infielders, hitting coach. And then we got Coach Campbell, returns. He's does some outfield, works with the hitters. He does a little bit of everything as well. And we got Coach Sanchez, who's not here. We're sending prayers out for his stepdaughter. She's had surgery in Boston, Massachusetts. We love those guys. But, yeah, so that's the staff that we got. Ladner's been with me 6 years. And Coach Campbell's back after taking about a 3 or 4 year absence. It's like 17th year, so we brought him back this year.
It's kind of ironic here because I remember Jacob as a player and everything else like that, and it's now come around full circle. Now seeing him also as an assistant coach and everything, and ironically, I'm wearing this Grace 2017 shirt here,
Nice.
which was the year that we won the state championship.
That's
So
it. And we got unfinished business on the back. I like that.
absolutely.
One of my favorite T-shirts.
Well, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about here again this past week here, 3-1 week here. Again, we handled adversity very, very well this past week here. I felt like we got a chance to grow, especially in the games against Charter, Southside, and also even against Grant there, where we learned how to. I guess we really picked up in spots there and really came out very well in there.
Yeah, we did. I mean, like I said, against Charter, I mean, we got off to a fast start the first time, and we had to hold on because our offense really struggled towards the end of that game. But defensive pitching was good, and then, like I said, on the road, you got to have some mistakes that happen, and it's a tie ball game. And we fought through those mistakes. I think we made 2 or 3 errors in the one inning, but we fought through it, found a way to get it done, and then. Again, you're talking about some mistakes against Southside that realistically, we got to make those plays. I mean, some of them were routine plays. We just didn't make them. I think it was a situation playing somebody that you see them walking a dugout with 50 guys. You're like, I think our kids felt like, hey, this is a PowerPoint game. But like we told them, we play the games to win them. I mean, we've won those games before. And I think they realized that halfway through that game, but they need to come ready to play next time. And then Grant, again, some things happened in that game. We had to fight and battle through it. Some calls didn't go our way, and some plays didn't go our way. And, we found a way to get it done. I thought we ran the bases really well in the 6th inning. We did some things that there was a play that happened with Wells. I talked about it last night that we had talked about it 2 weeks ago when the ball's hit in front of you about reading, not to try to run past a guy and get tagged out and make an easy double play for that situation. Give him credit. It was a great running situation, something we just talked about. And then we had another situation later on in the game that, it was in that inning that we scored the Talon from second on that play. So, good heads-up base running by him, and I thought we did a good job.
Absolutely, and I felt like, as I mentioned to you before, after the ball game, that was a turning point in that ball game. And sometimes, like you said, all those little things, those little plays right there are the difference of the ball game. And I was happy to see that moment right then and there where he knew what to do right there, and not only 1 run coming in, but also getting 2 runs to come in. And that's big right there.
Oh, huge! I mean, it's a tie ball game, and then you look up, it's 5-3, and it's swung the momentum, and then we were able to scratch a couple more runs across, and then you get a 4-run lead going into the 7th. I mean, those first couple guys get on for them. You start stressing a little bit, but you're not stressing as much because you scored 6 runs the inning before and you got a 4-run lead. So good job by our guys, and Cooper filled it up, and defense was outstanding in the 7th inning.
Let's get a chance to talk to some of your assistants real quick here, and we'll start off with Coach Ladner as well. And you've been now part of this program, not just only as a player, but also as a coach. First off, just talk to me about now being in that role here of now. All right, you were once one of these guys here, but now you're teaching these guys here the game of baseball and also about life and everything.
Oh yeah, I mean it's great. I have a lot of different viewpoints as far as like I've been in the system as a player. I know what it looks like through their eyes sometimes and see things. I have the experience that they have, and I can kind of relate a little bit more as far as how to handle things and just the way to go about certain things. And we have a great group of guys that I just feel like they get it, they understand it, and it's really starting to come together. So that's great to see.
This shirt I'm wearing right here, this brings you back memories, right?
Oh, it's the best of all time, man. Best of all time.
Let's get Coach Campbell in here as well. And Coach, you've been in for this program for a very long time as well, and you've seen it rise to the level that it is right now. Talk to me about how it was when you first came in here, and then also now to where it's at right now.
This program is one of the best in the state. It's Coach Brown's done a really good job. I've seen this program grow from no wins to 30 plus wins a year. I mean that's a lot on him. It's a lot for the kids coming into Grace that want to believe in this program that we've got. I've took a few years out and I've come back, man, and it's still the same program. This is a good group of kids we've got coming in right now, and these guys really believe, and they're young. That's what's scary. It's like we feel like they can compete against anybody in the state. The sky's the limit for them. And man, I'm ready. I'm excited to be back. Excited to see what the future brings, and get back to Sulphur.
And I've always, every single time you walk into the burn, you have that board there that has a lot of the players and their accomplishments and what they've done, not just only accomplishments, what they've done in high school, but also what colleges they've been to. And like you said, it tells you a lot here that a lot of players have walked through this program here and also have now become successful outside of this program as well.
Exactly. That's what baseball is looks at. It's as a sport, but we're also teaching these young men to be leaders and be something outside of just baseball. It's more than just a sport. It's life, how to handle adversity and how to deal with things. Truly believe that, and that's one good thing about this program. We really hold it to that standard.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and get Coach back in here as well here. And, of course, this coming up week here, we continuing our district play here. We have a game against Harrisonburg on Tuesday, but then we also have to travel to Jonesboro Hodge and also Harrisonburg on Wednesday and Thursday. And this stretch here, continuing right here, I was looking at the power ratings between 2 and 7, only separated by a PowerPoint right then and there. So there's a lot of things can go on.
Yeah, it's wide open, and that's why you got to come ready to play every day. And Harrisonburg, we're not going to take them lightly. They're a good club. They state runner-up last year in Class C. They moved up this year, and like I said, we're going to be ready to play. And our kids know it. We've played them last year, a non-conference game, so we're excited about the challenge, and we got to be ready to play. And Jay Hodge is a game that we'll play in the middle of the pack. We'll just have to watch our pitch and what we do on Tuesday. But we have a plan who we're going to throw Tuesday and Thursday, and we've got a couple of arms in the back end that I think they'll do a good job against Jay Hodge.
Absolutely here. So we're going to go ahead and take ourselves a little bit of a break. And when we come back, we'll talk to some of the Warrior baseball players here and try to get to know them as well. This is Lamar Gafford for Warrior Diamond Weekly. We'll be right back in about 2 to 3 minutes. And one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you back to Warrior Diamond Weekly. This is Lamar Gafford, and once again, we're live here from Cayefuego in Pineville. Programming note: we will not have an episode next Sunday. We will not have an episode next Sunday because of Easter Sunday. So we will be right back on the episodes here on the 12th of April. So the 12th of April, we'll have our next episode here once again from Cayefuego. But like I said, on April the 5th, we will not have an episode because of Easter Sunday. So a little bit of a chance to kind of rest up and relax and everything. Now, let's get a chance to talk to some of the Warrior baseball players here. And we're going to start off with a quartet of them right here. So we're going to get them to pass the mic and introduce to them who they are.
I'm Gage Fuller.
Logan Markle.
Tyler Acarda. Pierre Lemoyne.
All right, so let's start off here. Gage, man, talk to us about that game that we just had here. Actually, this past week here, as we were talking about with Coach Smith, Coach Brown here. We were just talking to them about the learning how to handle adversity and also growing and everything else like that. The growing blocks there. We went 3-1 this past week as well too. So just talk to me about learning how to handle adversity this past week.
Yes, sir. Just us needing to be better with the sticks and better at hitting. Need to back up our pitcher and stuff. Just need to be better as a team and as a whole.
I'd probably say how we handle making errors. Like the Southside game, we made a few errors, but we flushed it and we got the outs that we needed. We really should have helped our pitcher out a little bit more with run support because he was pitching great. That game should not have been an 8-1 score. But if we could just be more confident on defense and be stronger at the plate, I think we'll do a lot better.
I'm going to have to also go with what Logan said. Just handling errors better as a team. I mean, me especially. That game wasn't my best game, and I just didn't handle it really well. And I think if we just back up our pitcher and work better on our offense, I think we got a strong chance, really strong chance.
Yeah, we just got to handle the errors better and and do better on offense and get us some more runs and back up the pitcher.
And as the sparks are now flying around here in Cayefuego and everything, we just want to go ahead and talk a little bit about. And I know we got a chance to talk before Tyler and also Logan about how it feels just to kind of what got y'all started in baseball here. But for Gage and also Pierre, what got y'all started in the baseball and what attracted to you here to the game that you now play?
What attracted me is really just us being close together like family and just having close relationships with each other and the game being really fun to play.
Same to you, Pierre?
It's just good to have better relations with our teammates and yeah.
And you had a couple of big plays also in the past couple of games too. I know in the last game here, a catch to seal out the game as well. So just talk about stepping up in those plays as well.
Well, I just think about getting my team to win, doing all I can to help my team out, and just try to secure the win.
All right, so for everybody here, I always ask the players here to see if they have any interesting and fun stories about Coach Brown and everything. We could start off basically to what does he mean to you, and then also we can now hit him up with also the funny stories and everything else as well. So what does Coach Brown mean to you, and what interesting stories you have about him?
Coach Brown's really like he really helps influence you as a good coach and teaches you many life skills and just helps you out everywhere that you need to be helped out with. And some funny things about Coach Brown is just the way he acts. It's really, he got own personality and stuff. It's really funny. Nice.
For Coach Brown, I'd like to say he's a great coach, but I'd like to say he's a better mentor. He helps us out and he coaches us more. but he just helps out with real life stuff. Helps us like with our career and what we're gonna have on in later life. Let's see, funny story. I have to switch it up. I don't remember what game it was, but we had won a game, and I think he was eating a hot dog.
Oh
He
man.
walked on the bus, and he started running up and down the aisle. We was playing music. He started running up and down the aisle dancing. It was so funny.
Like Logan said, once again, he's a great mentor in life. It's not all about baseball. He really shows how to be a man, how the real world is going to be for us, and he really guides us step by step through that. I don't really have any funny stories. Not really. No.
Coach Brown, he's just a really good coach, and he tries to help us just be our best, and he tries to help us with our attitude and just be better people. And I don't really have any funny things to say, but he does say some like out of pocket things sometimes, and it's pretty funny. Yeah.
All right. So once again, thank you guys for getting the chance to step up and everything else like that, and allowing everybody to get to know y'all. By the way, too, catch us on KLB as well here. They did a very good story here on Logan as well. Harrison Vapnek, he came out in that game that he had against the Vols Charter and also interviewed him afterwards here. So for those that have not gotten a chance to look at that story, get a chance to look at that story as well. It basically talks about him and also the rest of the Grace Christian Warriors as well. We're going to go ahead and take ourselves a break, and in about a couple of minutes here, we're basically going to close out the show here, talking about what do we have here the next couple of weeks here for the Lady Warriors and also for the Warriors. This is Lamar Gafford for Warrior Diamond Weekly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you back to Warrior Diamond Weekly, live here from Cayefuego in Pineville, Louisiana. Once again, like to thank all the Warriors and also Lady Warrior coaches and players and everybody for getting the chance to come out and see us, whether you're watching online or also here at the restaurant as well. Now, again, programming note, we will not have a episode next Sunday because of the Easter Sunday. So we will not have an episode on Easter Sunday on April the 5th. Now we'll be back on April the 12th, and that'll be when we'll get a chance to kind of talk about a little bit of the playoff pushes and everything as well. Now, getting a chance to talk about some of the games here that we do have coming up here, some big games on both for both sports as well. Talking about the softball side here, first off, they got trying to make their playoff push as they coming together here this week. They have a game against Oak Hill on Tuesday, home game at Lady Warrior Field, and then they have to travel to Monterey on Thursday. After that, the following week here, a very busy slate here where they're traveling to Calvin on that Monday, Harrisonburg on that Tuesday, and then to Glamora on that Thursday. So they're going to be very, very busy these next couple of weeks here as they continue to try to get past here that 21 spot here and to try to get to the 20-team field into the softball playoffs in Class B. For the guys here, we do have ourselves an interesting slate coming up here. Of course, we have Harrisonburg at the Burn on Tuesday. Then we have to go to Jonesboro Hodge on Wednesday, and then Harrisonburg once again on Thursday here for that slate this past week coming up here. And then the following week here, we do have ourselves a very busy slate of games here. It all begins with Benton on that Monday after Easter, home game at the Burn. Then we have a home and home against Gomorrah on Tuesday and Thursday. That Thursday game will be at the Burn. That Tuesday game will be in Glamora. Then we travel to Lake Charles to face against the Bar Buccaneers, one of the top teams, one of the top 5A teams in the state, one of the top teams general in the state as well. And then we have Saline on that Saturday on April the 11th. That game will also be at the Burn. So we will have ourselves a very, very busy slate here coming up here. Again, it's the playoffs. It's the playoffs trying to get to before the playoffs and everything. So we're trying to make everything and we're trying to get to that position here and trying to get us a spot here so we can get down to Sulphur as well. So once again, this is Lamar Gafford for Warrior Diamond Weekly. Once again, thanking everybody that got a chance to come out here, all the Warriors and also the Lady Warriors for coaches Mike Josh Brown and also Mark Rozier, and also for everybody that got a chance to listen to us here on GSPN as well. Again, just letting everybody know, on Tuesday, we will have the game against Harrisonburg at the Burn here. Yours truly will get a chance to call that game. But once again, for tonight here, this is GSPN. This is Lamar Gafford. And for Warrior Diamond Weekly, have yourselves a nice day and also happy Easter as well, since we won't have a show coming up. Have a good one.